The jet has taken flight to New York as Mecole Hardman will not be a part of the Kansas City Chiefs next year, which now makes the Chiefs' core of wide receivers slimmer by the day. So we will discuss, of course, the wide receiver group for the Kansas City Chiefs and when will they address it. But before we do get into all of that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, as I'm going to keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chiefs related that you do not want to miss out on. And without further ado, let's have some fun. The Kansas City Chiefs are down another man at wide receiver, as today Mecole Hardman and the New York Jets agreed to a one-year deal worth $6.5 million, and it leaves the Kansas City Chiefs in a bigger hole, maybe the same hole. It depends on your perspective on the whole thing, really. Honestly, with me, and I believe with all of Chiefs Kingdom as well, we knew that last season was probably Mecole Hardman's last season with the Kansas City Chiefs. Unfortunately, it was injury riddled because we thought it would be Mecole Hardman's best season. One contract year is usually undefeated, but for Mecole Hardman, it wasn't due to injuries, and he would have had such a bigger role with the departure of Tyreek Hill. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that, and then we didn't get to see him and Kadarius Toney on the field together. That would have been unreal. It would have been so explosive and so much fun to see. But now, he'll be a New York Jet next year. He did have really great plays with the Kansas City Chiefs. If you ask Chiefs Kingdom, they'll feel really indifferent about this because he was explosive. He did what he needed to do, but a second round pick, and a lot of Chiefs Kingdom focuses on, you could have had AJ Brown, you could have had DK Metcalf, there was plenty other receivers in that draft, and we got Mecole Hardman. Yes, he is not the stature to those guys, so a lot of people will look at him as bust, but man, the plays he did make for the Kansas City Chiefs are really good plays, and he was very explosive. I do wish he could have hit his potential here, and maybe it's something he could see with the New York Jets. As I mentioned, I'm not surprised whatsoever that Brett Veach and company didn't re-sign him, because $6.5 million is a little steep in my estimation. Now, I know the wide receiver market has been like topping out at $11 million, and we all knew Mecole Hardman wasn't going to get nowhere near that. But with him being injured last year, and if he wanted to take a prove it with the Kansas City Chiefs, maybe Brett Veach did offer him a deal, maybe he did not, but I don't see it exceeding $5 million. And now you see what Brett Veach is doing, because a lot of people will say, oh, they could have afforded Mecole Hardman. They could have afforded Juju. Well, they could have. So it shows Brett Veach has something up his sleeve. It's just, when are we gonna make a move? I swear, it seems like as the days go by, the Kansas City Chiefs lose some depth and receivers fall off the board. And it's just getting kind of agonizing. Like I mentioned, I know Brett Veach has a plan. I just wish it would be executed. But also, I know, with being a Kansas City Chiefs fan, a part of Chiefs Kingdom, we know this will go down to the buzzer beater. A trade won't probably happen until the week or the day of the draft. That's just how things work when you're a Chiefs fan. It's unfortunate, but we always got to dwell on these situations. So, now, moving forward, I thought I had a sweet dream that could come to fruition, that would be beautiful, and that the Kansas City Chiefs could execute a trade. Because now, with Mecole Hardman being added to the New York Jets, they got a really deep wide receiving core. And two guys that couldn't have been on the bubble, well, now one is officially gone, which kills a dream that I wish would have happened, was Elijah Moore and Corey Davis. And when it just clicked in my head, and you've heard me mention it on this channel, I tweeted out and said, I know Chiefs Kingdom wants DeAndre Hopkins. I'm with you. I agree. I've been driving that ship. I've been driving that bus for the bandwagon to get DeAndre Hopkins. But if it's Elijah Moore, I'm all for it. I'm driving that one, and I'll just be a passenger in the bus for DeAndre Hopkins, because Elijah Moore, he has all the potential in the world. He's 22 years old, and he would fit this scheme tremendously. And the beautiful part about Elijah Moore, if that didn't seal the deal for you, is he's on a rookie contract. This year he's due $1 million. Next year he's due $1 million. And then within an hour, our dream became a nightmare as the Cleveland Browns traded for Elijah Moore. They gave a second round pick, and they got a third round pick and Elijah Moore. I would have done that deal in a heartbeat. It would have been so easy to do. So you're telling me, if I gave up a second round pick, I'm going to get Elijah Moore, and then also get another pick? Oh my goodness, I would have been all over that. And then you basically still have Kadarius Toney on a rookie contract. You have Sky Moore on a rookie contract. And then you would have Elijah Moore on a rookie contract. You would have your whole wide receiver core set. You would probably add pieces here and there, maybe a veteran presence, maybe draft another dude. You know how things go. But if I was focusing on this year's draft with the wide receivers, I would literally have Elijah Moore as my wide receiver number 2, probably just slightly behind Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like literally, he's that good, and his talents weren't used correctly or at all in New York, and now he's with Cleveland. They got a good team, I guess, right? They got Amari Cooper, they got Elijah Moore. We'll see what Deshaun Watson's all about, but man, more and more. And then you just have Kelsey saying, more, more, more. It would have been such a crazy wide receiving core, and it would have had youth all around. But like I mentioned, it was the shortest dream that wasn't lived. So unfortunate. So now you got to push back to DeAndre Hopkins, Odell Beckham Jr. Now, there has been new reports coming out on both sides as well. With DeAndre Hopkins, the Cardinals are now getting a little taste of reality, as we all have mentioned, is they realize they aren't going to get that second round pick, and they're not even probably going to get a feature player out of it. They're actually expecting, what Albert Breer is reporting, is they may get something around the Brandon Cooks deal, which is a 5th and a 6th. Why hasn't it been done? If it's just going to take a 5th and a 6th to get DeAndre Hopkins, what are we doing? I don't need to wait till draft day for that to happen, Veach. If you even want to sweeten it and give up a 4th and a 6th, sign it up. If you want to give him my paycheck, you know what? I'll do with that. Put it in there. We'll be good to go. And just get DeAndre Hopkins. But also, like a lot of Chiefs Kingdom has been mentioning as well, is does DeAndre Hopkins fit the mold or player of what Brett Veach usually goes for? And technically no, but also too, I don't want to be focused on that as well, because he has gone for like stud elite wide receivers, and it just hasn't really happened with an AJ Brown last year. Yes, AJ Brown was younger. He, I think, still on his rookie deal until he got his extension, until he signed with Philly. Now, a lot of people be like, oh, DeAndre Hopkins is 30. He may be out of his prime. Do you want to spend that type of money? Again, I think I've said it plenty times on this channel, and we'll say it again. He's 30, but he can still play like a top 5 wide receiver with Patrick Mahomes. Yes, his contract should be no concern. It also came out that Arizona may pay a portion of that. Also, he may want a contract extension. What does that mean? That means it would be a lesser hit this year and next year. Going forward, that's when it would be backloaded. And also, yes, his best days may be behind him, but also, just focus on what the dude did last year. Like literally, focus on it. He missed 8 games. 6 of them were suspension. 2 of them was because he was hurt. He played with 3 quarterbacks and had 700 yards. If that doesn't sound absurd to you, I don't know what does, because those are unreal stats. 700 yards and you missed 8 games. Most wide receivers would dream of doing that in a season. He is still an elite talent. I would still trade. I would have traded a 3rd. But if you're telling me they think they're going to get somewhere between a 5th and a 6th, sign me up all day, every day for DeAndre Hopkins. That's how I feel with it. Now, moving on to the Odell Beckham news is, now Odell Beckham and the Jets seem like that could be a serious contender for him, because Aaron Rodgers mentioned him, but now with Elijah Moore moving on, they might unload Corey Davis too. That might open up a possibility for that. And also, I kind of want to mention Corey Davis for a bit, because I would bring Corey Davis to the Kansas City Chiefs. He is a big, lengthy receiver with speed. Has he lived up to his first-round draft status? No. But that's why I would do it, because Brett Veach loves those first-round draft picks that just don't seem to work with their team. And yes, he went to the Jets, which is a different team. But that is someone that Brett Veach would love. And he wouldn't be your number 2. He might be a number 3. He would get targets, and Chiefs Kingdom is always preaching for a big guy. Well, there it is. Now, he has had injury concerns, but if you don't put too much on his shoulders, maybe we don't have to worry about that. But that is all the wide receiver rumors swirling around the Kansas City Chiefs, swirling around the NFL media. Chiefs Kingdom, you let me know how you're feeling. Yes, DeAndre Hopkins is still up for debate. Odell Beckham, he's still out there. Not Elijah Moore. the shortest lived dream. He would have been amazing in this offense. Chiefs Kingdom, you let me know how you're feeling. You let me know, are you ready just for the Kansas City Chiefs to sign a vet, or do you think we should just be patient, get to draft, and see what they do in the draft? Maybe they trade up for a Jackson Smith and Jigba, as I mentioned. Maybe they get a guy like Zay Flowers. Maybe this was part of the plan the whole time. With that, I will be signing out. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you did like this video, please give me that big thumbs up. Y'all take care.